Okay gang, I'm going to show you this video process of converting this 68 GMC from drum brakes to disc brakes. Now, to give an overview, I've shown videos before this truck. It was a 3500 one-ton long bed, and it was ordered as a cab and chassis, and it probably had a stake bed on it. Currently it's got a V6 in it with the 4-speed, the granny low 4-speed, and it has power drum brakes, power steering, and let me show you real quick. There's the original V6, power drum brakes, power steering. But this truck will only do about 55 miles an hour, and that's just not going to work. It'd be great if I was towing a mobile home somewhere, but I don't want to do that. As you can see, it was converted to a short bed, and I'm going to do away with the short bed, at least the standard fleet, and make it a stake bed again. And it also has, see if I can show you back here, it has the dually rear axle. So I'm gonna go back and put dually wheels on it and a stake bed, and I'm also going to put a different engine in it. Now at this point it could be an LS or maybe the 350, I'm not sure. Let me do you a quick shot on the inside so you can see. It also had factory buddy buckets, which is a rare option. So this is going to get converted. Now what I'm going to do in this stage of it is take apart what's left of this 87 Chevy down here, and this is going to give me the front disc brakes. And I wanted to show you this because I'm going to take the whole front frame section out of this 87 and I'm going to put it in the 68. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that brake booster and master cylinder or not, but I'm going to salvage what I can out of this truck, including the power steering, and the previous owner had put in electric fuel pump. But just to give you an overview on what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to go through the process of what it takes to change this over, at least this truck, from a drum brake front end to a disc brake front end, and trying to do everything from an 87 truck. First thing I'm going to do is remove the motor mounts from this. I'm going to remove the mounts, or the frame mounts I should say, and get those out of the way so I can access the bolts that are behind it. Simple step, but that's how I'm approaching it right now. Now you can see it with the frame brackets that support the motor mounts removed. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts going outward into the frame area, and 1, 2, 3 going down or coming up through from the bottom of the cross member. So that let's see, 14 bolts altogether. And now the other thing with that is I'm going to remove the shocks, of course, and I'm going to have to separate some of the steering, but primarily I'll have to get these bolts out. And they're 3/4, or at least the ones, the nuts showing are 3/4. I think the other ones are 11/16 or 5/8, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so I'm making a little progress. Just want to show you the steps that I'm taking as I go along. I've taken off the idler arm, and it just has a couple of 9/16 head bolts, and they go up here on the frame. I don't know if you can see with the light or not, but there's 2 holes there. I've also disconnected the shock off of the frame, and I'm going to disconnect the hoses, but not yet because there's still brake fluid in them, so those will come off later. But the next step that I'm going to do is take out the 3 bolts that go down through the cross member. And if you look, I have the wrench on one of them, and the heads of the bolts are 3/4, I mean the nuts are 3/4 inch, but the bolt head is 5/8. Why that is, I don't know, but I'll show you from underneath. If I can get under there, right? Let's see, yeah, up there. There you see the bolts. So those are 5/8. I'm going to take those 3 out of the way because, or those 3 on both sides, because I don't want this thing coming down on me if I had the other ones out. So I'll take the ones that go up and down first, and then I'll take the ones that go side to side through the frame, and that should release just about everything. I've also taken the pitman arm out of the drag link, so just separated it there. And other than that, and separating the brake lines, it shouldn't take too much more to get this out. Well, I got the 3 bolts out on each side that hold the frame to the cross member, and I'm going to take the other 4 bolts out that are going out from the inside here. You can see them right there. And those bolts have a 5/8 head, but a 11/16 nut. So another kind of strange configuration, but that's the way it is. So I'll take those out and separate the brake lines, and I think this thing will come right out. Okay, all the bolts are out. I'm hoping it's going to stay balanced on the jack, but I'm betting it doesn't. But that's okay. I just want to get it out. Ta-da! Well, there you go. That's all it takes to get the front frame member with the rotors out of one of these trucks. So hopefully it's a lot easier or not as difficult going back into the 68 GMC.